Warbound Archive, Restricted File. Classification, Level 4, Internal Archive. File Reference, W12B Sector Gray. Revision Code, 3A. This document was sealed under restricted classification and later amended without public disclosure. It concerns Assignment 12B, located in Sector Gray, approximately 3 miles north of the former Delta Communications perimeter. According to official records, the bunker assigned to 12B was empty. That remains the official position of the archive. Sector Gray is a hardened stretch of terrain shaped by years of wind erosion and fractured stone. There are no civilian settlements within a 20-mile radius. The area was selected for its isolation and its limited acoustic interference. Satellite records confirm that the bunker structure was completed before the surrounding perimeter fencing was installed. That sequence was noted during internal review but never formally justified. Engineering schematics describe the bunker as a reinforced concrete structure extending 12 feet below ground level, with a single external steel access door and an active ventilation system connected to the sector's external power grid. No interior equipment is listed. No storage inventory was ever assigned. No communications hardware was routed into the chamber. Despite this, ventilation remained continuously active, and a full guard rotation was maintained 24 hours a day. Assignment 12B was categorized administratively as Presence Maintenance. The designation does not appear in any other Sector Gray documentation. Prior to the assignment of Private First Class Daniel Mercer, 3 personnel rotated through 12B over a 21-day period. Each rotation lasted less than 9 days. Official records list their reassignments as operational redistribution. No disciplinary notes were filed. No medical alerts were attached. However, all 3 rotations ended early. Mercer arrived at Sector Gray during the 3rd operational quarter following the Delta incident. Initial internal review stated there was no operational link between Delta and Sector Gray. That wording was later amended. The phrase "no operational link" was removed without replacement language. Mercer's service file indicated stable psychological evaluation results, low impulsivity markers, and strong compliance under authority. A minor note in his intake assessment stated that he exhibited above-average observational retention and a tendency to document irregularities in detail. The briefing for Assignment 12B lasted 11 minutes. He was instructed to remain within 15 feet of the bunker entrance at all times. He was instructed not to open the bunker door under any circumstance. He was instructed to report irregularities immediately. Mercer asked what was stored inside the bunker. He was told, nothing. He asked why nothing required constant guard presence. He was told, standard protocol. He asked whether the bunker had been accessed internally in recent months. The response was precise, not during your assignment. His first shift began at 1800 hours. Temperature at shift start was 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind levels were moderate. Visibility was clear. Mercer positioned himself facing outward, per instruction, with the bunker door directly behind him. At 1821 hours, he noted a low mechanical hum originating from the ventilation system. His log entry reads, 1821 ventilation active. Sound irregular. Sector Gray's engineering documentation indicates that ventilation for 12B was designed for emergency cycling only. No internal temperature monitoring system was installed. No interior heat source was documented. At 1837 hours, Mercer radioed Sector Command to confirm the ventilation schedule. Command responded that the system was automated and instructed him to maintain position. No automated cycling system is listed in the official schematics. At 1854 hours, Mercer stepped within 3 feet of the door and leaned slightly toward the steel surface. Bodycam audio later revealed a low-frequency modulation pattern beneath the hum. Wind interference was minimal at that time. The interval between fluctuations averaged approximately 4 seconds. Mercer did not describe the sound as breathing. Not initially. He described it as pattern. By 1908 hours, he logged that the ventilation fluctuation contained pauses. The word pauses was underlined. Meteorological records show that wind speed dropped significantly at 1930 hours. The sound did not change in rhythm. At 1942 hours, Sector Command initiated passive monitoring of Mercer's bodycam feed. No notification was provided to him. Shift ended at 0600 hours. The ventilation system did not. During Mercer's second shift, environmental conditions were quieter. Temperature dropped to 67 degrees Fahrenheit by 2100 hours, and wind interference was minimal. Acoustic conditions were nearly ideal. At 2,114 hours, Mercer initiated unscheduled radio contact. He requested confirmation that no personnel were assigned inside 12B. Command confirmed. There was a brief pause before he responded. Bodycam audio from that exchange, when enhanced, reveals a faint undertone beneath his transmission. The frequency does not match standard grid hum signatures. At 2,131 hours, Mercer moved within 5 feet of the bunker entrance and remained stationary. He did not speak for 37 seconds. The ventilation pattern continued at its previous interval. He then spoke directly toward the steel door. The sound stopped. The pause lasted approximately 5 seconds. Then the ventilation resumed. Mercer repeated the test twice more, maintaining consistent vocal projection. Each time, the pattern ceased briefly before returning to baseline rhythm. He logged the observation. 2119, sound shifts when addressed. Resumes after silence. Engineering review later noted that no mechanical ventilation system in Sector Gray was capable of directional auditory response. That note was archived and later removed during revision code 3A. On night 3, Mercer altered his stance. Rather than facing entirely outward, he stood at a 45-degree angle, maintaining visual awareness of the perimeter while keeping the bunker door within peripheral sight. No corrective instruction was issued by command. Monitoring logs confirmed that observation of Mercer's body cam increased during this shift. At 2,233 hours, Mercer recorded that the pause duration averaged 4.2 seconds with minimal variance. He noted that the interval was too consistent to be attributed to environmental fluctuation. At 2,307 hours, he described the sound in more specific terms. 2307, sound resembles controlled exhalation. The description was not amended. It was not crossed out. 2 nights later, he tested an additional variable. He spoke without directing his voice toward the door. The ventilation pattern did not pause. He then increased volume while facing the steel surface directly. The pause occurred immediately. 2044, response tied to directional vocal projection. The following day, Sector Command issued an internal memo advising personnel assigned to 12B to limit unnecessary vocal engagement while on post. No reason was provided. The memo did not reference Mercer by name. Night 6 marked the first unsolicited change in behavior. Mercer did not speak during the first hour of his shift. At 1937 hours, while standing approximately 3 feet from the bunker entrance, the ventilation pattern ceased without any verbal trigger. The pause lasted 3.9 seconds. The system then resumed. He stepped closer. Another pause occurred. He removed his gloves and placed his bare hand against the steel surface. The ventilation paused again, this time for 4.4 seconds. He logged the entry. 1937, pause initiated without verbal stimulus. Testing nonverbal presence. At 1940 hours, command initiated full remote monitoring. Camera angles were adjusted. No communication was sent to Mercer regarding the change. The pattern continued through night 7, though interval duration shortened to approximately 3.6 seconds between cycles. 2213, pattern adapting. Interval shortening. Responding without stimulus. The term adapting was flagged in file review. An internal cross-reference to the Delta incident was briefly inserted into the archive. Ventilation irregularities noted during final 48 hours of Delta communications failure. That line was removed during revision code 3A. On night 8, Mercer was reassigned without formal explanation. A replacement guard was assigned to 12B. The ventilation pattern continued with the new guard. However, no pause occurred in response to his voice. The rhythm remained constant and unaltered. Mercer submitted a request for clarification regarding his reassignment. The response was brief. Subject exposure sufficient. No definition of exposure was attached to the file. Following Mercer's reassignment, an internal review was initiated under Administrative Code 3A. The review did not originate from Sector Gray. Its origin field is redacted. Within 48 hours of Mercer's removal, multiple alterations were applied to file WA12B Sector Gray. The term pattern was removed from several log references. The phrase controlled exhalation was deleted from the archive copy. Engineering draft notes recommending diagnostic shutdown were erased. Deletion timestamps do not align with standard archival protocol. A secondary backup server retained partial fragments of the removed language. Among those fragments was a recovered entry from Specialist Adrian Cole, one of the guards assigned prior to Mercer. The missing final page of Cole's log was located in the secondary archive. The entry reads, 2340, sound no longer reacting to voice, reacting to proximity. The line was marked internally as irrelevant to operational status. No justification was attached. A psychological evaluation was conducted for Mercer 2 days after reassignment. Assessment findings were within normal parameters. No paranoia indicators. No hallucination markers. No stress-related instability. However, the evaluator included a marginal note. Subject believes 12B responds to presence. The note was categorized as speculative. Filed without further action. Power draw analysis for the bunker ventilation system was reviewed over a 30-day period. Data shows minor fluctuation during Mercer's final 3 shifts. The fluctuation does not appear in prior rotations. It does not appear after his reassignment. In other words, the anomaly did not respond identically to all personnel. A request for interior inspection was filed by an unnamed engineering officer. Response returned. Inspection unnecessary. Structural integrity verified. Structural integrity had not been questioned. The request was not resubmitted. During administrative consolidation, a memo bearing the authenticated signature of Brigadier General Thomas R. Halden was appended to the file. The memo authorized continued presence maintenance for 12B. The signature was verified as authentic. The date of authorization precedes the officially recorded date of General Halden's death by 3 months. No inquiry into the discrepancy appears in the archive. 442 days following Mercer's reassignment, guard rotation at 12B remained active. No further anomalies were logged. Ventilation continued without interruption. On day 43, power draw to 12B dropped to 0 for 11 seconds. No grid malfunction was recorded. No weather interference documented. After 11 seconds, ventilation resumed at baseline interval. No follow-up inspection occurred. Assignment 12B was officially marked inactive during administrative restructuring. No demolition order was issued. No interior inspection was ever documented. The bunker remains physically present within Sector Gray. Ventilation status is currently listed as not monitored. Final archive statement attached to the file reads, Assignment 12B maintained required stabilizing presence throughout operational period. No clarification is provided regarding what required stabilization. Officially, the bunker was empty. That is the maintained record. Unofficially, ventilation remained active during periods of documented response. No mechanical explanation was entered into the archive. No personnel were ever authorized to open the door. This concludes file WA12B Sector Gray. After Mercer's reassignment, Corporal Jensen was temporarily reallocated to observe 12B for a single extended shift. Unlike prior rotations, Jensen was not informed of Mercer's log entries. His briefing was limited to standard protocol. Remain within 15 feet. Do not open the door. Report irregularities. Jensen's first shift began at 1800 hours. Environmental conditions were stable. Ventilation pattern active at shift start. At 1842 hours, Jensen radioed command. He reported that ventilation appeared normal. No pause was observed in response to his speech. Monitoring logs confirmed that Jensen spoke directly toward the bunker door multiple times during routine radio checks. No interruption occurred. The pattern remained steady. At 1931 hours, Sector Command authorized a silent observational test. This authorization does not appear in the primary file but is documented in an internal communications extract. The instruction was simple. 2 guards would be positioned simultaneously. 1 at standard distance. 1 at extended perimeter range. Objective, observe variance. Mercer was temporarily reassigned for this test without explanation. At 2015 hours, Mercer resumed position near 12B. Jensen maintained position 10 yards east. Ventilation pattern remained steady. At 2023 hours, Mercer stepped within 3 feet of the bunker door. The ventilation paused. Duration, 4.8 seconds. Jensen spoke from extended range. No response. Mercer remained silent. Pattern resumed. Jensen then approached to within 5 feet. The ventilation pattern did not pause. Mercer stepped back. The pattern resumed baseline rhythm. The anomaly appeared selective. Internal annotation added to archive. Response appears personnel specific. The annotation was later removed during revision. At 2117 hours, Mercer placed his hand against the bunker door. Ventilation ceased immediately. Duration, 6.1 seconds. Longest pause recorded to date. Jensen placed his hand against the same surface. No response. The internal engineering officer who previously requested diagnostic shutdown filed a secondary draft. The draft suggested that ventilation sensors might be detecting proximity through vibrational resonance in the steel surface. The draft concluded with the sentence: if interior space is unoccupied, no adaptive resonance should occur. The draft was never submitted. File record shows deletion within 9 minutes of creation. Following the cross-monitoring phase, Mercer was permanently removed from 12B rotation. No explanation documented. The internal label for the incident was updated to Delta Adjacent Event, Non-Reportable. This designation appears only once in the archive. 2 days after Mercer's final removal, the ventilation pattern normalized. No pauses recorded. No fluctuation. Power draw stabilized completely. However, on the final day of active monitoring, audio capture from 12B recorded a single irregular deviation. The deviation lasted approximately 7 seconds. It did not match prior pause intervals. It did not align with grid fluctuation. No personnel were within 10 feet of the bunker at that time. No explanation was entered. File WA12B Sector Gray was consolidated and closed under administrative review. All cross-references to Delta were removed. General Halden's authorization memo remained. The bunker was never opened. Interior inspection was never authorized. Ventilation remains listed as structurally active in legacy infrastructure documentation. Officially, nothing was inside. That is the maintained record. No inventory was ever assigned. No personnel were ever authorized entry. The structure was guarded continuously, for reasons not defined. This concludes the amended record. 6 months after administrative consolidation, a maintenance sweep was conducted across inactive Sector Gray infrastructure. Bunker 12B was not scheduled for inspection. However, during routine external grid verification, a technician noted minimal power draw associated with the ventilation circuit. The draw was low, below operational threshold, but present. The technician filed a minor discrepancy report. The report was acknowledged and archived without escalation. No site visit was authorized. No internal inspection performed. Archived satellite imagery taken 8 months after closure shows no visible structural alteration to 12B. No collapse. No environmental damage. No sign of excavation. The structure remains intact. Ventilation shaft intact. Door sealed. One final internal note appears in the restricted mirror archive. The origin field is incomplete. The timestamp is misaligned by 17 minutes from sector standard time. The note reads, "Presence maintenance no longer required." There is no follow-up, no clarification, no accompanying directive. After that entry, power draw to 12B dropped to 0. Ventilation activity ceased. No official shutdown order appears in the record. No demolition order was filed. No interior clearance was granted. Sector Gray perimeter was reduced the following year. Several auxiliary structures were dismantled. Bunker 12B was not included in demolition. It remains listed under legacy infrastructure. Inactive. Unopened. Officially, the bunker was empty. Officially, no anomaly occurred. Officially, Assignment 12B maintained stabilizing presence during its operational period. No further explanation was required. No further documentation was added. The door was never opened. The interior was never inspected. And whatever required presence maintenance was never identified. End of file WA12B Sector Gray. A Warbound Journal story.